Hola amigos, hoy vamos a hablar de los verbos reflexivos. How do we know if a verb is reflexive? Well, if the subject in a sentence performs the action on itself, then the verb is considered to be reflexive. We can also identify reflexive verbs by the fact that they have the pronoun se attached to the end of the infinitive, as in acostarse, levantarse, ducharse, and afeitarse. So at this point, we might ask ourselves, what's the difference between lavar and lavarse? Well, with lavar, our subject, or el chico, will be washing someone or something else. Por ejemplo, el chico lava el perro. O el chico lava el coche. So again, the subject is performing the action on someone or something else. But with lavarse, our subject, el chico, will be performing the action on himself. El chico se lava. Entonces, vamos a ver cómo conjugamos estos verbos. Now we're going to see how exactly we conjugate these verbs. Let's look at the verb ducharse. First, I look at reflexive verbs like any other verb. And before I conjugate, I just like to ignore the se. So let's conjugate duchar. Ducho, duchas, ducha, duchamos, ducháis, y duchan. Now let's deal with this se. So the se is part of a group called reflexive pronouns, which are not subject pronouns, rather they are object pronouns, and they change according to who or what the object is. Our reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, os, y se. So me means myself, te, yourself, se, himself, herself, or yourself, nos, ourselves, os, yourselves, and the final say, themselves or yourselves. So now let's put them together with the pronouns positioned before the verb. Me ducho. I shower myself. Te duchas. You shower yourself. Nos duchamos. We shower ourselves. Again, notice how the verb is conjugated like we normally do, but our reflexive pronouns go in front of the verb. Ojo, watch out. When we are using reflexive verbs and we are also referring to body parts, the definite article is used, not the possessive article. For example, if I wanted to say, I wash my face, I would say, me lavo la cara. We would not say, me lavo mi cara. Me lavo la cara is the correct way of expressing I wash my face. This rule also applies to articles of clothing. Por ejemplo, decimos, Felipe se pone los zapatos. No decimos, Felipe se pone sus zapatos. We use a definite article. Okay, so as a quick review up to this point, which one of these actions is reflexive? The man dries the dog or the girl dries her hair? Hopefully you chose the girl drying her hair. So how would we express this in Spanish? Well, we have el hombre seca el perro y la mujer se seca el pelo. Notice how this sentence uses the reflexive pronoun se to reflect that she is drying her hair and that she is doing the action to herself, whereas the man is drying the dog, so there's no reflexive action involved and therefore no reflexive pronoun. Okay, let's now try conjugating the verb afeitarse. Hopefully, a grown man doesn't need his dad or his mom to shave him, but hopefully he can shave himself, indicating a reflexive action. So go ahead and try conjugating afeitarse in our chart. You should have gotten me afeito, te afeitas, se afeita, nos afeitamos, os afeitáis, se afeitan. Okay, now looking at these sentences with some common reflexive verbs, can you translate them into English? Por ejemplo, nos acostamos. We go to bed. Me cepillo los dientes. I brush my teeth. Ellas se pintan las uñas. They paint their nails. Vosotros os ponéis las joyas. You all put on jewelry. Él se despierta. He wakes up. Ustedes se preparan para la escuela. You all prepare for school. Again, we use reflexive verbs in these sentences to indicate that the subjects are doing the actions to or for themselves. Okay, antes de terminar, tenemos una cosa más. If we have one verb in a sentence, we only have one option for which to put the pronoun. That one option is to put it in front of our conjugated verb. Me he visto, te preparas, os levantáis. But if we have two verbs or a verb phrase, we have two options for where we can put the pronoun. Again, our first option is to put it in front of the conjugated verb. Me voy a duchar. Or we can attach it to the end of the infinitive. Voy a ducharme. They both mean I'm going to shower. And you can use either expression, and you'll hear native speakers using both forms. Now let's have you try. What are two ways we can say, you have to get dressed? The first thing I'd like to do is always to deal with my verbs first before I worry about my pronouns. So we know we have to use the verb expression tener que, and our verb for to get dressed, vestirse. So go ahead and give it a try. Our first option is to put the pronoun te in front of our conjugated verb. Te tienes que vestir. And our second option is to put the pronoun attached to the infinitive at the end. Tienes que vestirte. So let's do a little review. Reflexive verbs are used to express something that people do for themselves. For example, washing one's hands, brushing one's hair, bathing oneself, those are all reflexive actions because the person doing the action also receives the action. We also know that a verb is reflexive if its infinitive form ends with the letters se. The pronoun se can change so it corresponds to a different subject. So our reflexive pronouns in Spanish are me, te, se, nos, os, y se. Here are the present tense forms of the reflexive verb secarse. Me seco, te secas, se seca, nos secamos, os secáis, se secan. Some verbs have both reflexive and non-reflexive forms and usages. A verb is used in its non-reflexive form if the action is being done to someone or something else. Por ejemplo, lavo el coche. But the verb is used in its reflexive form if the person doing the action does it to him or herself. Me lavo el pelo todos los días. Remember that with body parts and clothing, we always use the definite article with reflexive verbs. So me lavo el pelo means I wash my hair, even though we use a definite article el. Finally, if we have two verbs or a verb phrase in the sentence, we have two options of where to put our pronoun. The first option is to put the pronoun in front of the conjugated verb. Me necesito bañar. Or our second option is to put the pronoun attached to the infinitive at the end. Necesito bañarme. Just remember, if we have two verbs, we have two options for the pronoun. Muy bien, amigos. Es todo. Hasta luego.